Human resources recruiter Angela Franks had a fairly quiet 2020.
We saw a 50% drop in the market all of last year from pretty much March.
But she says demand for workers is now starting to pick up, and that's reflected in the wages being offered. A tourism business she recently hired a new recruit for increased their offer to secure a new worker after 3 months without success.
In the end, they've had to increase the salary by 25% to get the right person.
Overall wages growth in the final 3 months of the year beat expectations, rising 0.6% to maintain annual growth for 2020 at 1.4%.
But it's a long way off the 3+% wage growth that we need to see and that the RBA would like to see to be able to drive inflation up into its target 2 to 3% band.
In Western Australia, a surge in demand for iron ore and a limited supply of workers because of border closures pushed mining wages higher. The ABS data shows pay in the resources sector rose 0.3%.
Hey, Maddie, what's the rate that they're paying for that senior PM role?
But recruiter Matthew Ustini says he's been negotiating much higher wage increases of up to 5 to 10% through 2020.
We've seen, across the board increases recently from the likes of, Rio Tinto and FMG, and, we would expect that, with the demand and the supply pressures that will continue.
Wages growth has been slowing for decades. Not surprisingly, it peaked in the mining construction boom years last decade at 4.3%, but the latest annual figures are still 2% lower than growth recorded 20 years ago. And it's that subdued growth that has the Reserve Bank's attention. Wages are inextricably linked to confidence. If workers are dissatisfied with their take-home pay, they won't spend in the economy. And the downward cycle the RBA is so desperate to lift us out of will continue. December's wage growth was mostly driven by individually negotiated contracts and enterprise agreements. A delay in the Fair Work Commission's annual wage review saw another quarter of marginal growth for workers covered by awards, which means people like early childhood educator Kylie Gray continue to see their pay slip behind the increasing cost of living.
So it means that you end up sacrificing things like whether it's going out, whether it's holidays, whether it's buying your own house.
Cappuccino, 1 sugar.
Better growth in award wages is expected to show up in next quarter's figures, with the minimum wage for the sectors hardest hit by the pandemic increasing this month. While much of the improvement in December came from companies lifting pay freezes implemented during the pandemic, many other firms are yet to follow.
The RBA, based on its business liaison program for the December quarter, reports that more than 60% of businesses either currently have a wage freeze in place or expect to put one in place.
If those pay freezes are lifted, coupled with the expected increase in award wages, there could be even better news in 3 months' time.